Okay, we're back again for another video, and this one I'm going to be doing the eyes on the Liu Bei figure. Now, eyes are by far one of the hardest things to do. This is mainly because need for them to be both symmetrical and ideally be the same on both sides. So for this, you're going to want to get a pencil of some kind, as since it's erasable, it won't affect your paint. Ideally, you want to use a mechanical pencil, but if you don't have one, a very sharp regular pencil will do. Now, for this first part, you're just going to want to just try and just lightly sketch out the eye. And wouldn't worry about being too exact at this point, as you're going to come back in later and fill it in with your eye color. Now you want to try and get it somewhat symmetrical, and if you even want to, you can draw in the iris now, or you can actually wait till later, which I think I'm going to wait on. Now, at this point, you can also, once you get your sketch sort of done, you can then come in and darken lines a little, just to try to fashion them up a little. And then, as you can see, hopefully it'll work. You can see here, just basically want to get the eye sketched out and as close to as what you want. Now, obviously, depending on what you're doing, you'll have to try and match the style. Since this is sort of an anime figure, I am more going for that style. Now, for this next part, you're going to want to use enamel-based paint, since they self-level. You don't want to use acrylics, since obviously they don't self-level, and you don't want to use lacquers because they're not really good for brush painting. At least the Mr. Color paints that I use, I have found that they're not really ideal for brush paint. You can do it, but it's just because they dry so quickly. Now, obviously, if you probably thin them down with some leveling thinner, then yeah. But unfortunately, right now, I don't have any, so. But in general, the safe bet for this sort of thing is enamel-based. Now, one thing you do want to do when you start is you don't want to thin the enamel paint down. If anything, you want it a little thicker, just so you can minimize. Now, you just you just want to go in and just fill in, just follow your outline. And what's also great, since at this phase you've obviously clear coated, if you screw up, you can just come in with some paint thinner and just very easily wipe away your mistakes. Now, you might be thinking, why don't I just use black paint so I can get the iris and then paint around? Problem with that, doing it that way, is that since it's so dark, you might lose some of the eye coloring. And also, because it won't look as so neat, since you gotta work around. It's easy to screw up. probably not going to be talking as much during this part just because I'm trying to concentrate on doing this and doing it carefully. Again, you just don't want to press too hard and create too many strokes. You almost want to use the brush almost like a pen. And keep moving, keep an eye on your job. And don't be afraid to possibly do this in 2 coats. Since eyes are a very important part of any figure, since as the old saying goes, the eyes to the soul, you want to try and just do it very slowly. Now, got that done. I'm going to wait till that dries and come back and do the upper portion of the eye. Alright, so now we're going to do the upper portion. Now I've gone ahead and chosen a lighter shade of green. In this case I'm just using a straight shot out of a bottle, but depending on what you're doing, you can just as easily mix your own color. Now, for this one, I'm just gonna do this one eye since I'm almost out of video recording. You basically just want to go in and do the upper half of the eye, and then just try to more or less get all of that upper section pretty much filled in. And yeah, I'm basically out of time, but I don't know if you can see the difference in the video, but yeah, it doesn't have to be super lighter, but just light enough that you can tell. Now, once this dries, I'll come back in and do a little dry brushing to sort of blend the 2 layers, or the 2 sections together some. And be back in the next video.